Legal language. It can feel dense, right? Super confusing. Almost like a secret code that's designed to keep the rest of us out. Well, today, we're cracking that code. We're going to decode 10 key phrases so you can understand not just what lawyers are saying, but more importantly, why they're saying it.
I mean, come on, we've all been there, haven't we? You're staring at a contract or maybe just an email, and bam! You're trying to figure out phrases that might as well be from another planet. But here's the thing, there's actually a logic to it. There's a hidden structure, and we're about to uncover it.
Now, don't worry, this is not just going to be a boring vocabulary lesson. Think of this more like a journey. We're going to see how these phrases actually reveal the 3 core ways a lawyer thinks, as a protector, as a builder, and as a guide.
All right, first up, the lawyer as the protector. This is, job number 1 for them. Their whole goal is to stand guard, to think about every single thing that could possibly go wrong, and then build this fortress of words to keep you and your interests safe. Okay, you see this one all the time in business deals. And at first glance, it just looks like some boring standard legal stuff, right? But what's really going on here? It's actually a super powerful statement about who's in control.
This is a classic protector move. It's basically a verbal stop sign. The lawyer is reminding everyone involved, hey, just so we're clear, we are not the ones with the final say here. Some big government body gets to make the final call. So what the lawyer's doing is managing everyone's expectations and making sure the deal doesn't get ahead of itself based on a bad assumption. All right, risk allocation. Sounds super technical, I know. But just picture a seesaw. Every deal is basically a seesaw of risk. And when a lawyer uses this phrase, what they're really asking is, okay, if this whole thing goes sideways, who's going to carry most of the weight? Who's going to fall the hardest?
So when they say this, they're basically flagging that the seesaw is tilted and it's not in our favor. They're seeing the fall before it happens, and they're saying, hey, if this deal breaks, we're the ones who are going to hit the ground. A good protector's job is to get that seesaw balanced again, to make sure any potential pain is shared fairly.
The key word to listen for here is unintended. The lawyer's not pointing fingers or accusing anyone of trying to pull a fast one. It's more like they're a ghost hunter. They're searching for those invisible vulnerabilities in the contract, the ones nobody meant to put there, but that could still come back to haunt you later.
Think of this as the lawyer acting like a code breaker, just scanning the whole document for any weak spots. They're essentially raising their hand and saying, guys, I've found a crack in our armor. And their entire mission in that moment is to find that weak spot and patch it up right now, before anything has a chance to go wrong. But, being a lawyer isn't all about playing defense. Once they've secured the perimeter, they switch hats. They become the architect, the builder. They stop just blocking threats and start constructing the actual foundations that businesses and relationships are built on.
Market standard. This is one of those phrases that can just stop a negotiation dead in its tracks. Because what it implies is that there's a right way to do things and, a wrong way.
When they say this, the lawyer as builder is basically arguing for using proven, reliable materials. Market standard just means this particular approach is battle-tested, it's predictable, and crucially, judges and courts know exactly how to interpret it. Trying anything else is like building a house on shaky ground, and that's just a risk a good architect is never going to take.
Okay, I have to admit, I love this phrase. It's just so active. Stress test. It's like the lawyer is taking their carefully drafted blueprint and sticking it into a virtual earthquake simulator to see if it holds up.
And this is literally how they do it. First, they isolate one specific part of the contract. Then, they just brainstorm every single worst-case scenario they can think of. A market crash, a key supplier going bust, a random lawsuit. Then they see if that clause can withstand the pressure. If it can't, they go back to the drawing board and strengthen it. It's this really methodical process of building something that's designed to last. Now, this distinction is really at the absolute heart of what a lawyer does. See, you and I could write down an agreement that's perfectly clear to us. We both know what we mean. But in the legal world, clarity just isn't enough. The real question is, does it have power? And that's the huge difference. An enforceable clause, it has teeth. It's built in such a specific way that a court can look at it and not just understand it, but actually legally force people to do what it says. Without that, a contract is basically just a piece of paper with some nice suggestions on it.
Okay, so after all that protecting and building, the lawyer steps into what might be their most important role, the guide. This is where they go beyond just the technical legal stuff and start offering real wisdom, perspective, and strategic direction.
Think of this as the lawyer acting like a triage doctor in the ER of a business. Not all problems are created equal, right? And the guide's job is to help you figure out which problems are just a scrape and which ones could actually, kill the patient. Let me put it this way. A real legal risk is like a lightning strike, a lawsuit, a massive fine, something that could be fatal for the company. An operational inconvenience? That's just a paperwork headache. A great guide helps you focus all your energy on dodging the lightning instead of just getting bogged down complaining about the paperwork.
Now this might be the single most important phrase a lawyer uses. It's them drawing a very clear line in the sand, defining exactly where their job ends and yours begins.
This is that moment when the guide hands the map over to the captain of the ship. The lawyer is basically saying, look, I've shown you exactly where all the dangerous rocks are. Now you have to decide if we're going to try and sail through them. It's all about empowering the business leader, but it's also about making it crystal clear who is accountable for the final call.
And this kind of guidance is more critical than ever, especially now with AI everywhere. So when a lawyer raises a red flag about using AI-generated language, they're not just being old-fashioned or resisting technology, they're asking the most fundamental question a guide can ask. If this AI messes up, who's on the hook for it? And until that question has a clear answer, their guidance is always going to be careful.
Okay, our final phrase really shows the guide thinking way ahead. What they're saying is, let's write down why we're doing this right now. It's about leaving a clear trail of breadcrumbs for your future self, because they know, deep down, that months or even years from now, some auditor or regulator is going to show up and ask, so why did you do this? And a good guide makes sure you have a really, really clear answer ready to go.
So, there you have it. We've seen the lawyer as a protector, a builder, and a guide. We've decoded some of their secret language. So, what's the big takeaway from all this?
Well, it means that all this specialized language, it isn't just a barrier designed to confuse you. It's actually a toolkit, a set of precision instruments used to create safety, to build agreements that actually last, and to make smart, strategic choices. It's really the hidden architecture of how business gets done.
So the next time you're talking to a lawyer or reading one of their emails, listen for these cues, because now you'll understand the deeper strategy that's at play. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. If this kind of precise, careful language has the power to build and protect massive companies, just imagine what it could do if we brought a little bit of that same care to the most important conversations in our own lives.